Go ahead and get started. Appreciate you guys again coming every Monday. It's amazing. It's week 5 of the season. How fast it goes once you get started. Just address the injury update. Many of you guys already know about Janarian Grant and Quanzel Lambert suffering season-ending injuries last Saturday. Just thoughts and prayers go out to those two players. Are great human beings, great teammates. Have worked extremely hard to be the best that they could be. In this program, and we're off to great starts to the season, obviously, and going to be sorely missed, not only on the field but in the locker room and just around every single day. They come to work with a great attitude and a smile on their face, and always a pleasure to be around. Just a quick recap of Iowa last week. Again, it was a tough loss, one that you're really proud of our kids' effort and the way they prepared and the way they went out and played. We definitely improved. You look at where we were at to week 1 to where we're at in week 4. I think there's significant improvements in a lot of areas with the football team that we're happy about. We just got to continue to go on that trend. You talk about the 4 stages of a football team. We talked about this yesterday with the team. You got to teach and learn how to compete. Then you got to learn how to win. And then you got to learn about winning championships, and then you got to learn how to handle success and handle winning. We're still in stage 1. I think, we are competing. I think we're a football team that will compete against anybody that we play. We'll fight and we won't quit. We have to learn how to win games like the one that we were in last Saturday, and that's everybody in the organization. It comes down to details in a lot of areas, but that's the next stage that we need to be able to conquer and move forward with as we go week to week into the season. Some things that I thought we did well. We ran the ball well. I thought we played good defense for the most part. I thought overall our special teams were decent also. Areas that we have to continue to improve on. We have to throw and catch the ball better on offense. We have to be more consistent in stopping the run on defense. We did a decent job Saturday, but there's too many explosive plays that come up that at the end of the day your total yardage doesn't look good. And we have to cut those things out. And then on special teams, we got to get our kickoff cover fixed. We're not very good in our kickoff game, and we have to get that fixed. And we got to coach it better. We got to teach it better, practice it better. All the things above, because what I watch on film is not pretty, and we got to get it fixed. Moving on to this week, going to get ready to play another great opponent, going to Ohio State. Football team that's loaded with talent, a young football team that's grown up and is playing exceptionally well, through 3 weeks of the season. Going to be a great challenge for us going into a hostile environment like the Horseshoe and playing a football team like Ohio State. So it's another opportunity for us to continue to improve, keep working each week and go out and compete. Our guys are excited about doing that, and we had a great practice yesterday, and I'm sure we'll have great practices as we have the last few weeks. So go ahead and open up the questions from there.
Chris, how does your familiarity with their defensive talent help? And I guess the follow-up would be any emotions going back there?
I know the players, but that's not about me knowing the players. It's about our players knowing the players and going out and making plays. I can know the players all I want. That doesn't matter, Our players have to know the players and the matchups and the guys that they're going to go against, and then have to go out and execute the calls in all 3 phases. That's what matters.
You lose 2 starters, including one who meant so much. Did you have a message to the team? Can you share it?
Well, both starters meant a lot to the team. There wasn't any one more important than another. They're both really important. But it's just next man in. It's college football. It's football in general, and injuries are part of the game. We all know that. And it's next man in, and we'll move on. The next guy will step up, and we'll go out and play productive football for us, and we're excited to see who that is.
With Grant now being out, does it change a lot what you're trying to do on offense?
No, it doesn't change anything. We have an offensive system that we believe in. We're not going to go change offensive systems. This is the blueprint of what we want the football team to look like. We're going to be running a running offense. We're going to be an attacking defense. We're going to have special teams the way we are. Are there certain things we may not be able to do if certain individuals aren't in there? Yeah, absolutely. But to think we're going to go change our offensive system or defensive system because of an injury, that's not going to happen.
Chris, obviously you lose 2 great playmakers, but 2 guys who are leaders as well. Do you have to really watch the team and kind of make sure there's, not any kind of emotional letdown or anything with injuries like this?
I think we have a tremendous group of leaders. Our captains are outstanding. They provide a ton of leadership for us. So I have no concerns about emotional letdowns or letdowns in general based on injuries. So we teach our team how to respond to these type of things all the time. We talk about them all the time. And if yesterday's practice was any indication of how they're going to respond, I'm pleased by what I saw. Again, it gets back to just the leadership and all the units that we have and our 4 captains that we have, and really the coaching staff to work with the players within those units to make sure they respond the right way to events like this. Nobody had a letdown on Saturday during the game when it happened, and I don't expect it moving forward.
Coach, it may be too early to think about this, but as particularly with Janarian, because he played half the game, looking at a potential extra year that he might, is there zero shot of that?
I don't know. I'm not the NCAA. Other people make those decisions. Obviously, we'll try to petition for one, but I don't know.
Make that decision towards the end of the year. At the end of the year.
No, I mean there's no decision I have to make to try to do it. I mean we'll do it. But someone else has to make the decision on whether they're going to allow it to happen or not based on all the criteria. So it's not up to me, the AD, anybody here at Rutgers. We'll submit the necessary documents to try to petition for it, but it's up to somebody else to make that decision. And you see it all the time in college football. Some people get it, some people don't. You're never really sure why.
Chris, obviously you're shorthanded both places, but DeCoven Bailey, would he go back to receiver now because he's kind of in that Grant mold?
Yeah, I mean, DeCoven's been a receiver the whole time, and we put him on defense because he had a cast on that he couldn't catch a ball, so he's no good, doing that. So he's back at receivers. He got a different style of cast on, and he can catch balls. But that was all that was about. There's no reason to have a kid stand on a sideline that's a talented kid like DeCoven because he had a cast on. It's changed. It's a different cast. He can catch balls, so we'll let him play what he was recruited to play.
Chris, I know you have so much you're dealing with this week, and I know you coached many different places, but you are going back, to where you last worked and with your own team now. Can you envision or imagine at all what the emotions are going to be for you personally, just walking in there as the opposing coach?
No, I mean, I've been there before as an opposing coach, but I'll say it, there's no secret that had great relationships there, have great relationships with a lot of people there, coaches, players, support staff, just people in the community. We had a great 2-year run there. It's not about me. It's not about the other people in this program that have been at Ohio State. It's about us preparing our football team to continue to get better and go play against a great opponent. That's all I'm worried about. It's great. We're going back to Ohio State. It's a tremendous place. Love a lot of people there, but we're focused on getting our football team to play as good as it possibly can be, and that's it.
It was interesting to hear you talk about those phases, building a program from teaching, how to go all the way up to handling the success. What is the challenge when you are just going into a place where they're at, the very top of that pyramid that you described?
It's no different than any week that we go play. We went out and played a Washington team that's pretty darn good too, and they're in the top 10 in the country also. So, we teach our players how to handle hostile environments, what to expect going into the stadium. They watch film on the players that we play, and we got to prepare them and motivate them to go out and play the best that they can play. And it's even more so when you're playing a very talented football team on the road. You have to focus on the details and be locked in and be ready to play as best you possibly can when you're going into that type of environment, because the smallest mistakes can become huge issues against a talented football team.
With Quanzel out, just how ready do you feel Darnell Davis is to kind of step into an increased role now?
Well, there's several options there. We haven't decided on what the options are going to be. Darnell's played several snaps of football already. He's played outstanding snaps of football already. And maybe not as many as Quanzel, but not far off. And we didn't lose anything when Darnell was in there.
Are they much different schematically under Greg Schiano, and what has he really brought to the defense?
He and Kerry Combs both work in the secondary, and they've done a great job with a group of young players. Garrett Conley is the only returning DB that played, and so they got 3 new starters back there. And between Greg and Kerry Combs, they've done an excellent job of getting those young players to play exceptionally well this early in the season. But schematically, it's both sides of the ball. Ohio State's doing what they do. That hasn't changed, but again, it's a good job of great job of coaching, in my opinion, on all phases of that football team. Look at what they're doing offensively with a bunch of new players, what they're doing defensively with a bunch of new players, and the kicking game with guys that are covering kicks. They do an outstanding job of coaching young players to be game ready in such a short amount of time. That's what's impressive about it. I mean, everyone says they got talent. Yeah, they got talent, but that doesn't mean they're going to be any good. And between Coach Meyer and all the coaches there on that staff, they've done an outstanding job of getting that team game ready. And to be where they're at after 3 weeks of the season, headed into coming out of a bye week, they've done an outstanding job.
When you talk about the different places that you've been, obviously Ohio State being one of them, what about that place made you the type of coach that you are today? What did you take from there?
A lot of things. I was fortunate to go there at a time in Coach Meyer's career where he's experienced a lot of things as a head coach, and I think he's really probably settled in on what he truly believes in and how he wants to see the program run in all areas. And talk about program alignment. Everybody's aligned to work together for a common goal, which is to be the best that they can be as an organization. And it's impressive, to when you're in there to watch how it all works. That's probably the number one thing is about just the organizational alignment that they have there, and that doesn't come easy. It didn't come overnight. It didn't happen just because Coach Meyer got there the first year. It took a couple years to get that done, but that's why they've been successful.
Chris, Kirk Ferentz, from an former offensive line coach standpoint, sounded off after the game on the new chop block rule in the NCAA. From a defensive coach perspective, how do you feel that rule's going? And that play is the one where Darius ended up limping off. Did you have any problems with that play?
No, there's no problems with the play. I mean, it was cut block. They called it, and I'm not sure exactly what Kirk had said about it, but there's conversations about a lot of rules and how they're interpreted from game to game with crew to crew, and there was a cut block, and an official saw it as an illegal cut block, and he threw the flag. And I can't say I disagree with Kirk on rules interpretations from crew to crew or league to league. At times that happens, and he must have felt like that was a situation where somebody saw it differently than him.
Kamoko Toure, I think he dressed the last 2 weeks. How is his progress coming along? Could he conceivably help out with the loss of
He got a snap last week. He's still ways away from contributing significant snaps in a game.
Take 2 more questions.
Honestly, loud enough, I'm sure, without it. But we ask you so many questions about the challenge of going in there, as a visiting team. On the flip side, can you just describe what it was like to have that advantage? What does the Ohio State program believe in that advantage is, and how did it work to the team's advantage?
Well,
when you were
yeah,
there?
I mean, anytime you got a venue like they have, the Horseshoe's an impressive venue, and when it's filled to capacity, which it is every Saturday, regardless of the opponent, it can be an intimidating venue for opponents to walk into. You're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids if they've never been in that environment before. A lot of times that venue can beat you regardless of what the home team does. And that happens to teams. They get intimidated by just the size of the stadium and the history and the tradition and all the things that Ohio State has. And a lot of times teams are beat before the foot even hits the ball.
Do you think your experience there and knowing that, what you just said, helps you communicate that to your team?
Oh yeah, I mean I talk about it, but again, it's not about me. It's about the players. They still have to be the ones that show up to make plays. But can I talk to them about that? Absolutely. Because I've been there, I've watched it happen, and we'll have those conversations.
Urban Meyer, I think he's won 19 straight off bye weeks. What makes him so good coming off a bye?
I don't think it has anything to do with a bye week. It has. You just look at his record overall. It has nothing to do with a bye week. He's won a lot of games. He's won a lot of games at home, a lot of games on the road, a lot of games coming out of bye games or out of bye weeks. So it's not about a bye week. It's just about his method, his process, his attention to detail and the preparation, the players that he has. There's a lot that goes into it. But he's a great coach. He's been a great coach. He's proven that year after year, place after place, and week 5 of 2016 season is not going to be any different.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.